I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told ya I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I'ma cop a farm and go act up.
morning, everybody. Welcome in on this beautiful Sunday. The Green Bay Packers, they went to Arizona and they defeated the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. What a game on Thursday Night Football, guys. Packers, again, going to Arizona. Such an even game, 24-21, the final score for the Packers. Arizona gets their first loss of the season. Green Bay improved to 7-1, 7 in a row since that big stinker there against New Orleans at the beginning of the season. Looking into this game, both teams' total yards off by 1 yard. Green Bay, 335 yards. Arizona Cardinals, 334 yards. What a difference those couple yards made there at the end of the game, seeing as the Cardinals were on 1st and goal, looking like they were going to put the Packers away. A.J. Green completely forgets what he's doing out there and goes blank. Kyler Murray threw the ball at him. He thought it was a run play with no timeouts, and he just completely forgot what was going on. May have retired mid-route from what we're hearing. If we are living in the simulator theory, he had his controller disconnected, per a couple memes. That game was insane. Some of the memes that were coming out from Aaron Rodgers whenever his hit on the ground, those were too funny as well. But what an even game. What really set this game apart is essentially the turnover game. Arizona had 3 turnovers. They essentially shot themselves in the foot. Green Bay's defense played very well, very, very well against a top offense in the league. Third down efficiency could be a little bit better for the Green Bay Packers, 6 of 14 and 2 of 4 on 4th downs. I mean, I did like a lot of the play calls, though, from LaFleur in those situations to go for it on 4th down per se versus taking the points. Man, what a crazy game. A lot of what-ifs and, could have been, should have been. At the end of in the second half, the Packers punt the ball, hits off of the returner's hand, muffs it. The guy just falls on it instead of picking it up and going to the end zone. Even his teammates are trying to pick him up and carry him to the end zone, and he just did not go to the end zone. That came back to bite the Packers as they were not able to punch it in the end zone, took 3 points. Had they been able to get the 7 points on that, the Packers would have been up by a touchdown at this point, and the final drive of the game would not have been as stressful as it was because all the Cardinals would have been able to do is force overtime. But nonetheless, it's sports, that's drama, and I love that game. That game was a roller coaster of ups and downs, especially as a Packers fan, as a Cardinals fan, I'm sure, same thing. But man, what was A.J. Green doing on that final route? What was he doing? A lot of people are saying that he, thought it was a run play, but you have no timeouts available. Why would you run it? You have no time to get set up to stop the play. It's a pass play 100% through and through. Man, he was lost. But how about Rasul Douglas? Dude, how crazy. Rasul Douglas just weeks ago was on the Arizona Cardinals practice squad. He was a part of that organization. Gets picked up off the practice squad by the Packers whenever we started getting all those ailments in the secondary. And look at him there. Game-winning INT against the former squad that didn't even think he was good enough to be past their practice squad. Poetic justice at its finest. Hell of a game. Kudos to the Cardinals for making it a close game. At one point, it looked like the Packers were going to start running away with it. The Cardinals said not today, and they got it back in order. And they kept going from there. Switching over, we got a good Sunday here for me. A little stress-free. Don't have to watch the Packers today. We've already got our win for the week. So we're more so looking towards fantasy football this week. I've got Buddy Gifford, Mr. Sherlock Mahomes over there. His team is definitely performing better than the real-life Patrick Mahomes. Let me get this situated here. Hold up. Whoop, there you go. But yeah, his team's looking a lot better than the real-life Patrick Mahomes. He's currently 4-2. He's got a 62% chance to beat my ass today. I tried to roll out a little secret weapon that didn't pan out. It was going to be a boom or bust type of play. and that was Emmanuel St. Brown. Packers had no receivers. He's the top receiver after Lazard and Devontae Adams. I thought for sure he would get more than 3 points. I'm thinking, maybe a 10-point plus game for him, maybe a time to really show out. But the Packers receivers and offense in general, even though they were able to, pull out the win primarily due to, defensive play as well, really, really kind of came out and just punched Kyler Murray and the Cardinals in the mouth, drive after drive. Excuse me. The defense was really great, but the offense, man, they couldn't seem to get on the same page. We burned all of our timeouts early to avoid delay of game calls. It was a poorly managed offense, but that's just due to all of these guys. A lot of them, some of it's their first time to get that kind of snap percentage of the game, to be in that often and have to be on the same page and have to know everything that Devontae Adams and Lazard knew, and you hope they come in and know it, but at the same time they haven't gotten that experience. So that really showed on the offense. There were a couple times where you could see that Rodgers and the offense just was not on the same page, and it clearly showed, and it ended up being a bust move for me in fantasy, and that really hurt me, took me down to a 38%, but I still like the way my team looks this week. Gifford's got a hell of a team right now, so it's going to be a tough win. I'm going to need a couple guys to just have some insane games, but matchup-wise, I think I look good. I got Leonard Fournette going to New Orleans. Surely he could have a big game there. Elijah Mitchell playing at Chicago. Dude, Chicago sucks. What more can I say? Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears at this point, so therefore they're not even really Chicago's team anymore. That's how bad they are. They became somebody else's team. So I think that, Elijah Mitchell could be in for a big game. Got Calvin Ridley. He's going to be playing against Carolina, and oh, holy shit, how about Carolina, man? A team with such promise at the beginning of the season. Such promise at the beginning of the season. They're terrible. They are absolutely terrible. Sam Darnold is showing his old self like he was. Was it the Jets or was it him? Was it the Jets or was it him? When McCaffrey was here and in and not hurt, he played pretty well, but he can't do it without a running back, I guess. I don't know if at this point it was the Jets or if it was him. I really don't know. Time will tell. Right now, it's looking like it was him. And possibly the Jets. Could be a mixture of both. Probably a mixture of both. Who else I got Goddard going to play against the completely defeated Lions. I like that matchup right there. He's the new number 1 tight end for Jalen Hurts now that Ertz is over in Arizona. And speaking of which, Zach Ertz, dude, the other night in Arizona, that dude's a beast. It's not even fair, man. He's just watching that final drive. I don't know why they didn't throw the ball. They should have had a design play for Zach Ertz right there. If they have a design play for Zach Ertz, I'm not as happy of a fan on Friday morning. Why do you not throw the ball at his big ass down low? I get AJ Green's really good too, but dude, Zach Ertz was beast in that whole drive. And he's about 1.5 feet taller than the whole defense. Throw him the ball. I got T. Higgins as well going into the Jets. That's another good matchup for me. If I'm gonna have some miracle games to really have a chance to pull off this win this week, I've got the matchups for it. So I'm holding on to hope here, and we'll see what happens. On his side, I haven't really looked at his team. He's got Kirk Cousins going up against Dallas. Dallas is honestly impressed a little bit on defense at times. At times they've not. I think I'm not too worried about his Kirk Cousins play there. He's got Eckler going to New England. New England's always sound defensively. I don't expect a huge game from Eckler. Probably be about running the mill. Probably for him. Probably at least still 10 points. But I'm not envisioning a 30-point monster game or anything like that up against New England. Myles Gaskin, he's got a tough one with Buffalo. They're gonna be playing from behind a lot, so I'm hoping that maybe he's not getting too much. Antonio or AJ Brown. I'm sorry, not Antonio Brown. I'm stupid. AJ Brown. playing at Indy. That's a good matchup there. He could possibly have a good little game. Hopefully, though, one good thing, though, is, any touchdown that Antonio Brown's catching, I'm canceling out almost all the points because I've got the quarterback that's throwing to him. So his touchdowns will only get him a +2 on that score, since there's only 4 points for the quarterback touchdowns versus, I believe it's only 4 points, which is stupid, I think. But, I mean, they changed that a long time ago to make the quarterbacks, I guess, less OP. Nonetheless, it'll cancel out majority of his touchdown points. Hopefully, he doesn't target him too often, though. Don't want to get those points per reception. I don't have a way to cancel that out. He's got a chance for a big game, though, with A.J. Brown there. Jamar Chase, dude, going up against the Jets. I'm worried about that one. He could be putting up a lot of points with that guy this week. The Jets are an absolute dumpster fire, as always. And Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow have been on the same page all year long, just like they used to be at LSU. They're going to go off today. It's going to be a big game. Then he's got Kelsey playing against the shitty Giants on Monday Night Football. What a terrible Monday Night Football game. You got to watch the struggling Chiefs play against the New York Giants, which struggling would be an understatement for them. This will probably be one of the lowest watched Monday Night Football games. Probably not, because you still got a lot of Mahomes ball watchers out there, but Mahomes been playing terrible too. Him and rookie quarterback Zach Wilson are tied for the most interceptions right now. It's just crazy to me that Mahomes is having this kind of year, but I mean, slump years do happen. Really what's hurting him is his defense is putting him into really shitty situations. They are not there. I mean, their defense ranks almost dead last in every single measurable category of defense. They measure dead last in, I believe, points against, yards against, all that shit. If not dead last, they're 30th or above. I mean, their defense is terrible, and they're making Mahomes have to do it all. And then he's also having to deal with the bullshit going on in his personal life with his, brother doing dumb shit like dancing on people's memorials and, throwing water at fans. But at the same time, fans, they got to realize, they can't be talking shit to they can, but, they can't expect him not to retaliate. And when he does, I don't see why people get butthurt about it. Good for him. Good for him for standing up for himself. I don't know why it's as big of a deal as it is. But either way, it is a distraction because people do make it a big deal. And I think all that's kind of formulating into what we're seeing now with Patrick Mahomes. I think he'll bounce back, but I don't think it's going to be this year, unfortunately. But we'll keep moving on because we're talking about fantasy here, not the real life stuff. But we'll talk about the games coming up today as well. It's going to be one of those games where I've got to have some guys pull it out. I think the matchups are in my favor, per se. He's got, obviously a better lineup, but I think the matchups are more favored for my lineup than his lineup. We'll see what happens. Now, looking at last week, this right here has got to be my best week of fantasy football that I have ever played in my life, ever. Went up against my good buddy of mine, Caleb, the Dirty W's. Dirty Dubs. I love it. Dirty W's. All I think about is just W, the damn president. But, man, what a game last week, though. That last week was, like we had discussed, again, I appreciate everybody that tuned in last week. I know it wasn't a live show like I normally do. Just traveling, was off in Chicago. But last week, man, pickups that I had to make. We talked about how it was the worst week of fantasy football, basically, since the inception of the internet. Never has there been this many players on bye, injury reserve, doubtful, and out that are top players that are owned, across almost every fantasy team. Never since the dawn of the internet have we had this many players in that category out. So we had to make some pickups last week. Quarterback I picked up, Ryan Tannehill, 18 points. Can't ask for anything more from him on that. I mean, I would like to have gotten more, but hey, 18 points on a last-minute pickup of the QB. I think that was a solid pick. Take away the INT, and it's a 20-point game for him. Leonard Fournette, go off with your bad self. Went up to Chicago, 16 points. Dude, he's not really a pickup. I didn't pick him up. He's been on the team, but he was definitely a late draft steal that I got there. Now, this right here was my pickup of the week. Picked him up on Thursday. I talked about it a little bit in the last week's episode because I was actually recording during the Thursday night football game. He was already having a good game. I didn't realize he was going to go off this much. Ernest Johnson, absolute beast mode last week. Dude had 146 yards rushing. He had 1 touchdown. He then had 2 receptions, 22 yards, totaling up 25 points for the game. The guy went absolutely off, picked him up off, free agency, just moments before the game, inserted him in. I'm so glad that I made that pickup. That was a huge pickup. I mean, 5 guys on my roster were picked up last week to play. Devontae Adams, we know the deal with him. He's always going. Calvin Ridley, I've had him. Another pickup I had Goddard here. I will say he had a really good game. 12 points. Had a really good game. I almost picked up Uzmata, whatever his name is, the tight end for the Bengals. Had I picked him up, I would have had even more points. But either way, this one still panned out very well. Very good pickup. I think Goddard's going to be a good pickup for me going forward. Kind of solves my tight end issue. I originally was rocking with Tanyan. Tanyan just wasn't getting it done, so kind of started trying to find a new tight end. Hope Tanyan as well gets better after injury. Tore his ACL in the Thursday night game. Out for the season. Hope he comes back, bigger, better, stronger. He was an emerging tight end at this time. So hopefully he can get back and, succeed where he's at, right now. Another pickup, though, that I had last week, T. Higgins, got him as well last minute. He had been dropped by another team. He was out there. I said, boom, snag him, 13 points. Tampa Bay's defense went absolutely off. I had to pick up a kicker because my kicker was also on bye. I got 14 points for my picked up kicker. Overall, just a great game for my team. Luckily, his team did struggle in places. Hines got him 2. Hubbard didn't get him really much, 8. Odell, not much from him either. It was a good game. Everything went right for me. Everything went wrong for his team. Solid win. Definitely needed that, especially because as we're looking at the standings here, we got the old commissioner, former guest on the show, AJ. He's currently undefeated right now. His team is absolutely bonkers. I don't have an image for it, but just wanted to mention how his team's been rocking. He's got Matt Stafford, who's been balling out. He's going to ball out today. He's playing against Houston. He's got Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry has essentially doubled everybody's rushing yards he's first in the league, and then you got second in the league, and he's basically doubled the guy that's second in the league. Derrick Henry's absolutely nuts. He picked up Carterell Patterson throughout the year, who's also just filling out that running back slot for him. He's got DK Metcalf, beast mode, even with Geno Smith. Geno Smith's relying heavily on DK Metcalf to get him through. DJ Moore, who's, even with, struggling Sam Darnold, I believe still managing to, put up pretty good numbers still. He picked up tight end Ricky Seals-Jones, who's been on its hair the last couple weeks. Got 15 points, 11 points. We'll see if that continues. He's got Cole Beasley. I'm not really sure how Cole Beasley's been playing. It looks like about subpar, not very good. He's had a couple big games here and there, but a couple small games. But some of the guys he got that it looks like he probably regularly plays. He's got Waller at tight end. He's on bye this week, also questionable. Surprised to see Claypool's not in the lineup for him this week. He's got Claypool out, and he's got Cole Beasley in, which seems kind of strange. Claypool seems like he's got the better matchup. He's a little bit more talented as well. Interesting pick not to go, but I mean, I don't know. Cole is not the better matchup. Cole Beasley is playing Miami. I misspoke there. We'll see. Maybe it pans out for him. Maybe a good play. Maybe probably just a hunch play that he has. Thinking about it. Overall, though, his team, dude, has just been stacked, rocking and rolling. Other teams that have been doing pretty well. You got Wesley's team. He's another former guest here on the show. Team halfway decent. I think he was actually second guest we had on the show here. He's part of. You'll see him in the intro video clip, I believe, as well. But he's got old Carson 2 sprains, Wentz, Zeke Elliott, who I don't know if Zeke's really been. Has he picked it up lately? Let's see. Yeah. Zeke's definitely. He's been on a tear, man. He's playing very well. I mean, his team. He's got DeAndre Hopkins, who had kind of a quiet night the other night. 8 points. Could have been better, but he was dealing with that hamstring issue. I was glad to see him out of the game for the most part. He had Eric Stokes so turned around the other night. It was insane. Eric Stokes looks like he had no clue where he was at. Didn't even realize he was playing football, it looked like. Other teams that are looking good, obviously we've talked about Gifford's team. That's who we're playing today. Another one, though, Micah, or Squints, as I like to call him, his team named the GOAT. He's got a good little squad. He's got James Conner, who went off for 14 the other night. He's got Tyreek Hill, Tyler Lockett, Hawkinson. I mean, not too shabby. Some of the guys that have the most points for in the league at the moment, AJ's leading the way with 977, Wesley with 900, Jake, the Poon Pounders, he's actually second in the league with 943 for. And then you got Wesley coming in there with the 900. I guess his matchups have just lined up because Wesley's actually got one better win, or one more win than Jake does over there. Fantasy is really heating up. It's fun to watch. We're making the pickups, and whenever these guys go down, that's the thing about fantasy football that I like. The draft's always fun. Everybody loves the draft of fantasy football. You get together with your guys or your gals. I know gals like to play fantasy football as well. Y'all get together. You drink some brews. You have a good time with everybody, and it's a fun time. But everybody always forgets about how fun it is throughout the year. I mean, not that these guys are getting injured. I don't wish that people get injured. But as players get injured, as players, don't play, up to, par with how they should be playing. And then you see those guys that nobody really thought of, were going to be playing well, and they've started playing well. And you start, dropping some people, picking some people up. Somebody that you drop that maybe wasn't playing well for you, somebody else picks him up, takes a chance on him. He starts turning around, picking it up. That looks like that may be what happened with T. Higgins. He got dropped. He hadn't been playing very well. I picked him up first week. Very good game. Maybe it's just also due to the expectation that I have for him there. I'm, taking him as like a third receiving option. I'm happy with a 10 to 15 point game from that guy in that slot. It's really fun at this time of the year. This is when people really got to start making the adjustments. The teams that draft really well, they'll get a few wins straight out the gate. But if they don't adapt with how the season's changing, how the players are changing throughout the season, and then the other teams that do, they're going to get passed by it. So, make sure you guys are watching those waiver wires. Make sure you're looking at who's getting dropped, who's getting, so that way you can see on ways to improve your team each and every week. If you want to have a legit chance at, winning your fantasy league, and cashing in on, prize money. If you guys got that, if you guys got a, buy in on your league. Moving on though from, fantasy football, we'll, head on over to life. We'll head over to today's games. Bear with me 1 second while I get everything kind of situated for that. Give me 1 second, guys. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back shortly. Yo, what is up, guys? We are back. Sorry for the quick delay. Just had to kind of regroup here on some of the things that I've got going on for this as we continue to talk. Some things that I've kind of thought about that I didn't think about before the show that I want to talk about here today. So, we'll keep it moving. But first, we're going to get started with today's games. It is Spooky Sunday in the NFL. We got games on Halloween today. Will you be a good father to your kid and husband to your wife tonight and take your kids trick-or-treating? Or are you going to watch the Cowboys and Vikings games? Which one's it going to be, guys? Luckily, I'm a Packers fan. It's an easy decision. I'm going to go trick-or-treating while I have my phone playing the game. Of course, I'm going to watch the game while we're going. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm gonna definitely trick-or-treat and enjoy that with the family. I think Sunday Night Football is going to see a little dip in ratings at first. Once everybody gets done with their trick-or-treating, boom, spike. Everybody's going to get to see the best part of the game, which is the second half. That's the part of the game where boys become men, and we see who really going to get that win. Starting off today, though, you got Steelers at Browns. To me, there's not a whole lot of games to really be looking out for. But I think that Steelers-Browns a good one. You got two teams that are looking to kind of turn their tides on their season. The Browns haven't been playing bad. They're 4-3. They're over 500, but they're in a very good division right now, so they're sitting in third. The Steelers are hoping to turn around at 3-3. The Browns need a win to kind of keep pace with the guys that are in the division with them. The Steelers need a win to basically not be completely out of the race with the guys that are in their division. Once you get about a 3-4 game, behind on somebody, it's going to be really hard to make up that ground. The Browns want to stay on pace with the Bengals, Ravens. They need to get a win. Steelers, if they don't want to be completely dead at this point, they need to get a win. I don't think it's going to go the Steelers' way. I'm sure the Browns will get a victory. That is contingent, though, on I don't think Baker's playing, is he? Let me see, because I know he's hurt. Or what is he playing? Let's see. Oh, no, he is playing. Baker Mayfield will start Sunday against Steelers, according to Fox 8 channel. I guess that's the one up in Cleveland, maybe. It says the last time these two teams met was in last year's AFC wildcard game. We don't know. We don't care about all that shit. Yeah. What a game, though. And speaking of, some of these players that are playing today, or speaking about that are in the Steelers and Browns game, Ernest Johnson, we were talking about him earlier, and I just want to kind of circle back to it real quick, and it kind of think about how crazy sports are and how crazy the NFL is and some of these sports stories. He's essentially another one of those, why we love sports stories. 3 years ago, he actually took a job on a Florida fishing boat. Didn't really know what was going to go on with his football career. He ends up getting signed, play with the Browns. I don't know when exactly they signed him, but he didn't really know what he was going to be doing. He was literally working on a fishing boat 3 years ago. He's now having the game of his life in his very first game. They asked him, about his touchdown, how he felt, and he said he wanted to celebrate, but he just didn't know what to do. He said it's been a real long journey for him. Just real good story there. I like to see those guys that when they get the opportunity, make the most of it. He earned another contract 100% just in that one game. I would not be surprised if he doesn't, if the Browns don't keep him around, because they've kind of got a full running back room, if he doesn't end up somewhere else. But what a damn game from him. And the Browns, they just kept running the ball. Just run it. But I think it's going to be a good game, especially now that Baker is playing. We'll see, how well he does in there. Other games that we got today, Eagles at Lions. Will the Lions get a win? Will they get their first win? They are playing the 2-5 Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think the 2-5 record, I feel like, really, like, people look at that, they think the Eagles are a terrible team, and I'm not going to say that they're a great team, but let's look at their losses this year so far. Week 1, they won. They beat the shit out of the Falcons. They've essentially beat the teams they needed to. Week 2, it was an absolute dud of a game. They lost that one 17-11, but they lost to the 49ers. Not a bad team. They got absolutely demolished by the Cowboys. Cowboys, good team, but they weren't even competitive with it. Again, that's why I say they're not a great team. I think that they're an okay team, but I don't think they're as bad as people are, giving them a rap for. They went in a shootout with the Chiefs, 42-30. I mean, they put up 30 points. I mean, the Chiefs' defense is terrible, though. Who else have they lost to? They did beat the Panthers. They should beat the Panthers. That's their second win. They took the Bucs 28-22. I mean, that's a 6-point game. I mean, not a bad game there. 33-22 against the Raiders. Not terrible. Again, I don't think they're a terrible team. I don't think they're a great team. I think they'll compete with people. I don't think they're always going to get the win. Today, they'll get a win, though. The Lions will be 0-8 at this point. It's getting bad for the Lions. And it seems like it's the whole city of Detroit as well. I believe the Detroit Pistons have not won a game yet either, if I'm not correct. I know this is a football show today. Oh, nope. They got their first win yesterday. I take that back. There is now a winning team in Detroit. But the Pistons were also were completely defeated until yesterday as well. Maybe it's the weekend for the Lion Sports. Maybe it's the weekend that they turn it around. They get a win. I doubt it, though. Jalen Hurts really not been playing bad. He hadn't been playing great. I mean, a lot of his good stats have came in trash time, but I mean, still promising, I guess, for Eagles fans for the future. But nonetheless, not going to be that great of a game. Another game we got today, though, is going to be Patriots going to the Chargers. I think this is going to be a little bit of a better game. The Patriots, I feel, have proved to be a little bit better team than what a lot were initially giving them credit for. I know myself included in that. Again, not a great team, but, about an average team. They'll win the games they need to win. They'll lose the games that they're probably supposed to lose. But it should be a good game. My pick'em game for the week, the Survivor pick'em for you guys that do those Survivor pickups. I've got the Rams this week. They're taking on the Texans. They are playing in Houston. It doesn't matter where they play. They could play in Timbuktu. The Rams are going to get the win on this. This is a complete mismatch. I'm glad I was able to pick the Rams this week. And something I'm looking at as well is the Bills. I'm trying to figure out when I actually want to pick them for my Survivor Pick'em. If you look at their schedule for the next couple weeks, they've got an easy schedule, which means they're also about to start climbing the ranks of their division or of their conference. Bear with me one second here. But yeah, I picked the Rams for this week. The Bills, though, like I said, they've got a. Oh no! Don't change my pick. Oh, I almost changed it. Hold on, let's make sure it's still picked. So that way, it's playing around with it, isn't it? Okay, cool. Rams are saying, let's get out of there. But we got the, like I said, the Rams are my pick of the week for that. I'm trying to figure out when I want to pick the Bills. They've literally got one of the easiest upcoming schedules. They play the Dolphins today. They got the Jags next week. They got the Jets the week after that. I'm just going to look at the matchups. If there's no matchups I like in any of those other weeks, I'm just going to, take them on one of those. But I'm glad I reserved them for this late in the season. I feel like a lot of people picked them early. A lot of people got out early on them because they picked them over the Steelers. Steelers came out and hit them in the mouth. But that Patriots-Chargers game, the Patriots, I feel, they've been competing fairly well. They're always a decently defensive team. Bill Belichick's going to coach them through the game, and he's going to manage the game well enough to at least keep it close, I feel. I don't see it being a runaway victory, but the Chargers will still probably pull it off. Really good game, though, on today's slate. Cowboys at the Vikings. They're traveling up to Minnesota. If Kirk Cousins can start getting loose like he's been doing here lately, this could be a bad game for the Cowboys. The Cowboys also are potentially not going to be with Dak Prescott tonight. He's possibly going to be out. I think, to be honest with you, though, if I'm the Cowboys, I think you're stupid to play Dak Prescott today. Why would you play Dak Prescott when you've got, you could literally sit out 3 weeks and still be at the worst tied for first place if you lose all three of those games. I mean, the Cowboys literally are 5-1 in the division, and then you go to second place, and it's a tie for second place for Washington, the Eagles, and the Giants. And they're all 2-5. Why would you play Dak this week? Why? You don't need to win. As a Packers fan, I would like you to win, beat the Vikings, because, I mean, the Vikings, they're not close to us in the standings either, but I just don't like them. I'd rather you beat them. But why would you play Dak? I think it's dumb if they do. I believe the word is that they are looking at a game time decision. They're saying that he's going to go through his normal pregame warm-ups on Sunday night and hope that he gets the green light. If it's up to Dak, he'd be playing, but Dak's got to realize his best ability to his team is going to be availability, so he needs to probably take this night off, get it back going next week against the Broncos. If you're feeling good, almost good enough to go, you'll probably feel 100% by next week. Come on, man. Be smart about it. It's very short-sighted if the Cowboys play Dak tonight. If they do play Dak, though, could be a very good game. If they don't play him, the Vikings may run away with this one. But nonetheless, it should be a good little Halloween game for everybody. Monday Night Football tomorrow night is going to be absolutely awful. We got Patrick Mahomes. Again, he's tied for INTs with Zach Wilson. They're going up against the Giants. I mean, it's good for them. They'll probably be able to get a win out of this, but it's going to be who wants to... I would watch the Chiefs play somebody else. Not the Giants, though. The Chiefs aren't playing that great, but they're playing good enough to where they should beat the Giants. That being said, though, I do not think the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs. I think the Chiefs are dead in the water. They look bad. They're like we said earlier, their defense is dead last in the league. Their offense has turnover issues. Mahomes has got 9 interceptions on the year, tied with Zach Wilson, a rookie who plays for the Jets. I mean, I don't see it. Wrapping out right now, though, with the playoff picture. Like I said, the Chiefs, I don't think they're going to make it. What we're looking at right now, though, is number 1 seeds if the season were to end today. Obviously, we got a lot of football left. A lot of football left. But if it were to end today, the Packers would be the number 1 seed in the NFC. And the AFC, this is the biggest shocker of all, is the damn Bengals. The Cincinnati Bungles, a.k.a. the Bengals, are number 1 in the AFC right now. They're 5-2. Their only loss is to Green Bay, and that was an overtime loss. And they really should have won had their kicker hit the 3 points. So should have the Green Bay Packers, though. That was the game where 5 missed field goals back and forth. Boom, 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 boom. Can't make shit. And finally, Green Bay just happened to be the one to make it. And then their other loss is against the Bears. That's a bad loss. But it was early in the season. It was literally their second week out of the gate. They also came off an overtime game with the Vikings the week before that went 27-24. It was a bad loss for them to lose to the Bears, yes, but you also turn around and look at last week's game where they came in and dog-walked the Ravens, beat them 41-17 in Baltimore. Wasn't even in Cincinnati, in Baltimore. I mean, the Bengals are playing out of this world right now. They're top of the AFC at the moment. I don't think it's going to stay that way. Right now, the Bills, the Bills are 4th. So you got the Raiders at 2nd, which is awesome that they've been able to maintain that position and maintain their play through all the BS with Gruden. One good thing is, speaking of the Gruden thing, I believe they're trying to get to them to release more emails, be more transparent. The league has basically came out and said, fuck you, we're not doing that. Gruden's the scapegoat here. We're going to use him only. We're not going to get anybody else in trouble. They're not going to release the rest of the emails. So it sucks for Gruden. He's going to be singled out in it. He shouldn't have said what he said. Shouldn't have been talking shit like he was if he didn't want that to happen. However, it is fucked up because he's not the only one doing it. Other people are still in the league that are with these same ideals and mentalities, and you're not going to figure that out because the NFL had their scapegoat with Gruden. But anyways, get off that subject, back to their actual football play. Without Gruden, they've been able to play well. 34-24 the Broncos, 33-22 on the Eagles. It helps that their schedule has been easy as shit. The Raiders have a easy schedule so far this year. Like they're 5-2, yes, but like let's look at who they've played. They beat the Ravens. Great win there. Great win, overtime win to open the season. That was on Monday Night Football to start everything off. They beat the Steelers. Steelers, all right team, not that great. But that was also the Steelers coming off of just beating the Bills, so can't really discount that win too much. But then they got Dolphins. Dolphins take them to overtime, 31-28 final score. Bad team. They get stomped by the Chargers 28-14. That's when they play a good team. The Bears beat them 20-9. That's a bad team. How do you lose to the Bears? Both the Bengals and the Raiders have managed to lose to the Bears. They're the two top teams in the AFC. How have the Bears managed to beat them? That is absolutely crazy to me, but it is what it is. They then took it to the Broncos. Bad team. Eagles, not a good team. Beat them 33-22. Now look at their schedule. They've got the Giants coming up. Should win. Chiefs coming up. Toss up, only because we don't know if you're going to get good Mahomes or bad Mahomes. Then you got Bengals Raiders. That will be a good one, but I think the Bengals are a lot more talented and a lot more battle tested, and I think they're going to beat them. They got the Cowboys. That's going to be a tough game for them. So I don't know if looking up at this, upcoming schedule, if the Raiders are going to be able to maintain their, top 2 position in the standings. But we shall see. Third place for them, you've got the Titans. They have really came alive lately. Started off the season, didn't seem like they were going to be that great of a squad. They got absolutely demolished by the Cardinals, 38-13. Barely squeaked by the Seahawks, 33-0. They are benefiting right now from some easy matchups to kind of get their confidence back. They took on the Colts, 25-16. They got beat by the Jets, though. The one Jets team, 27-14. So even though they got to play the Colts to kind of, shape up, get that confidence back, Jets came back in, removed it. But then they turn around, they get one more good game here against the Jags, come in, put a hurt on them, 37-19. Then they've built that confidence back up again, go into Monday Night Football this past Monday, beat the Bills 34-31 on a goal line stop. What an absolute Monday night game that was as well. Comes all the way down to the wire. Bills decide we're not tying it. We're going for the touchdown to win. They get stuffed. Titans walk-off win. That was a really good game. I think the Titans are starting to find their form. I think the Jets loss, as much as it sucks to say you lost to the Jets, it really shaped them up. They look for the Titans though over the next couple weeks. Probably go on a run again. They got the Colts today. I'm envisioning they'll beat them. They got a tough Rams. That's going to be tough, but then they got a couple easy games with the Saints, Texans. Should win against the Patriots, and they got the Jags again. They should stay, fairly close to the top of that playoff picture. Now the Bills, they're right now sitting in the 4th spot. They're currently 4-2. Not a bad record. They have a bad loss against the Steelers. They could have, they should have won that game. Who's their second loss? Their second loss is to the Titans this past Monday night. I don't dislike the play call. You want to go for the win. The defense hasn't been that great. Do you want to really give the ball back to the Titans and let Derrick Henry grind you down in overtime for the win? No, so you go for it there on the goal line. You get stopped. That's the way football goes sometimes. It was a good game, 34-31. Lost it, but there's 2 losses are not bad losses. But the Bills are going to start climbing these ranks just due to the ease of schedule that they've got coming up. They should go on a streak for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. They should be on a 6-game streak with their potential right now. Today they play the Dolphins. That's a win. So there's game 1 right there. Next week, Jaguars. No way they don't get a win there. Week after that, Jets. 3rd win. Colts, 4th win. Then they're going to play the Saints, 5th win. Patriots, it's going to be tough, but they should get a 6th win on that. They should be on a 6-win streak going into the December 12th matchup against the Buccaneers. That one's going to prove more tough and probably going to Be a tougher one to win, but I think they could pull it off as well, though. So they could possibly even go on 7 streak. If they hit that 7, then they're going to be playing the Panthers. That's going to be an 8 streak at that point. Then they got the Patriots again. Should be another win. That's gonna 9. That could possibly be 9. Then they've got the Falcons. That could be a 10-game streak, and then they're gonna wrap it out with the Jets. That would be an 11-game streak. There's only one of the next 11 games that really concerns me for the Bills, and that is the Bucs. The rest of the games, I don't see them losing. If they go 10-1 in their next 11 games, they will finish the season 14-3. They will be the number 1 seed. It's going to happen. The Bills will be the number 1 seed simply due to the fact that their schedule is so easy on the way out. The Bengals, on the other hand, their schedule, they've obviously got the Jets to get. That should be 1 win for them. They've got the Browns. It's going to be a tough matchup. The Raiders, tough matchup. Steelers, tough matchup, should win. The Chargers, tough matchup. 49ers, tough matchup, say they should win. Broncos, should win. Ravens, another tough matchup. I don't foresee them coming in and beating them by 20 points again. Chiefs, tough matchup. That's all the way in January. I don't know what the Chiefs are going to be playing like by then, so we're not going to give credit for a win yet. Then they got the Browns, tough matchup again. I mean, realistically, you can easily say that they're going to win at least 4 of their next 11. The rest of them are going to be toss-ups. I mean, the Bills will eventually surpass everybody. I will finish as number 1 seed. I'm putting that call in now, just looking at their ease of schedule. The Bills have nothing to worry about with their schedule right now. They should be guaranteed a playoff berth already. Just go ahead and give it to them. Give them a playoff berth. Their schedule, too easy. NFC side of things, Packers, after beating the Cardinals on Thursday night, are officially the new number 1 seed in the league. We're both 7-1. Obviously, we got the tiebreaker because we beat their ass on Thursday night. Let's go. Wrapping it out is 3rd with the Bucs. 4th is the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys will always be at least guaranteed a 4th seed this year just due to the fact of their division. There's no way that they're losing their division. They're basically 4. I think they're 4 games ahead of their division already, or 3 games ahead of their division already. They're guaranteed at least 4th in there. Packers, Cardinals, they'll jockey probably the rest of the year for that number 1 spot. See the Cardinals, the remaining schedule for them. I mean, they've got a pretty nice little couple of weeks. They've got the 49ers. I would assume that they would win that game. It's going to be a tougher one. The Panthers, they'll win that game. Seahawks, they should win that game. Bears will win. Rams, that'll be a tougher game for them. The Lions, they should win that one. I mean, they're going to have quite a few games to win as well over the next couple weeks. Going to kind of ease out for them. The Packers, on the other hand, we got the Chiefs. Again, don't know what you're going to get from them. You're going to get INT Mahomes. You're going to get locked in Mahomes. That game could go either way, but we got the Seahawks. Then we got a tough matchup against the Vikings, a tough matchup against the Rams. Got the Bears again. That should be a win. Tough matchup against the Ravens. Another tough one against the Vikings. Ended out with the easy Lions. I mean, our schedule is a little bit tougher. I think it's going to be hard for the Packers to keep that number 1 spot over that time, but with the way they've been playing, anything's possible. We'll wrap it up, though. Again, like we said, currently the way things are ending, the 8 or the 7 playoff teams for the AFC is going to be the Bengals, Raiders, Titans, Bills, Ravens, Chargers, Browns. If it were to end today, NFC would be Packers, Cardinals, Bucks, Cowboys, Rams, Saints, Vikings, if it were to end today. Obviously, we got a lot left to go. I mean, 11 games left for some of these teams. I mean, it's got a long season ahead of us. Couple things that's pretty funny, though, that I noticed, just I thought would be well for today's little theme, or not theme, but with today, we got obviously the Halloween game going on. It's Sunday of Halloween. Thought it was pretty cool that Isaiah Robinson, he actually got some custom cleats for the game, doing a little bit of the thriller action here, and I think it's pretty neat that he's doing that. I'm curious to see if anybody else is going to be doing anything with their cleats or, their uniforms today to go with the Halloween day and the spooky Sunday. Aaron Rodgers, his costume has officially been revealed. For all you guys that didn't know, he's been growing out his hair. Everybody's been wondering why. He said on Pat McAfee's show it is for a Halloween costume. And I'd have to say he's right on with that. The boogeyman, Keanu Reeves, man, from John Wick. What an absolute. I think he's spot on with it too. For a second there, it took me a minute to figure out which one was him and which one wasn't. What a costume choice. What a costume choice. Great football player. Even better Halloween person. You guys, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Some other crazy news around the league. CeeDee Lamb, he's getting fined all over the place. He's been fined twice for having an untucked jersey. Once first fine was $5,150. He then got fined the second time for not having his jersey tucked for $15,450. If he does it again today, he will be fined $46,353. That is more than the average American will make in a year. He will get fined for just for not having his shirt tucked in. That is absolutely insanity that the league fines you for that. He's also been fined another $5,150 for having socks that failed to cover his lower leg. And he got fined for an illegal crack block and taunting. He's got a total fine so far of $46,865. Insane. Speaking of other fines, DK Metcalf, Marshawn Lattimore, they were fined for their Monday Night Football incident. They were back and forth all night, hands in each other's face, knocking the shit out of each other, just smacking each other. They picked up some fines for that one. I love to see that shit, though. I don't know why they're getting fined for being aggressive, but that's the way football goes sometimes. Anyways, guys, I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the page, like the video, give us a share, do whatever you can. Till next time, peace.